Hey mama, are you wondering if you have postpartum anxiety? Today we're going to talk about the 12 most common symptoms women get after childbirth that shows that anxiety is coming up in your body. We're also going to discuss the most popular questions I get when it comes to anxiety and the roadmap to healing naturally. If we haven't met, I'm Gregorio, certified women's herbal educator and mama of twins. And on this channel, we talk about natural remedies for women and children's health. I've helped hundreds of women integrate natural remedies, and now it's your turn. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of my new video each Tuesday. Now we're gonna dive in, and to get started, let's talk about the 12 most common symptoms you may notice coming up in your body. Number 1, insomnia. Of course, insomnia. You cannot sleep. So one proven way to know that insomnia is affecting you is when everybody else is sleeping and you can't go back to sleep. That's a proven way to know you have postpartum insomnia. You can watch this video to see how I love to heal postpartum insomnia. And our goal is to get to the root cause of why you're having anxiety, insomnia, and maybe even mild depression. So all of those things go hand in hand. And that's what I teach on this channel because it really affects your health. Okay, next symptom, number 2, heart palpitations. This may be something you noticed right away, is that you lay down at night to go to sleep and it's called tired and wired. You're exhausted, but your heart rate is pounding, or you wake up at 5 a.m. and your heart feels like it's coming out of your chest. Those are signs of anxiety. Within my course, The Present Mama, I go over all the reasons we have heart palpitations, including anxiety and insomnia, but additionally mold toxicity, long-term Lyme, and heavy metals as well. So inside that course, you'll learn about those symptoms as well. Number 3, dizziness, lighthead, stomach issues, tight chest, shortness of breath, headaches, sweating, can't focus, crying spells. Crying spells are very common, and most of it's due to your not sleeping. So just keep that in mind, and your hormones readjusting. Overthinking, circular thinking, or intrusive thoughts. So what are intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts are thoughts of harming yourself and or your children. Now that's most associated with postpartum depression or depression, but honestly it happens all the time. So notice the thoughts that you're saying to yourself, see if you can stop those and change them to something more positive. And of course, exhaustion. So the root cause of this anxiety, a lot of it is the inability to sleep. So restoring your sleep should be your utmost priority right now. And I'll go into that more and more throughout the videos and within my courses. How do we restore your sleep and why are you not sleeping? Because when you sleep, miracles happen. You have amazing days. Trust me, I've gone years without sleeping. So how does postpartum anxiety differ from postpartum depression? They do work together, so keep that in mind. There's a connection between your insomnia, because when you don't sleep, you get anxiety, and when you get anxiety and insomnia, depression comes in. Some of it's hormonal, some of it's blood sugar regulation, but they all connect. So even if you don't feel depressed, you might notice your mood dips before your period comes, or that you're crying more. So those are signs of depression. But the major sign of postpartum depression is intrusive thoughts, and this just not wanting to be in the world anymore, feeling like you are outside of your world, looking in. There's some key indicators that you have postpartum depression, but the major one being thoughts of harming yourself and your children. So why does this happen? This bothered me for the longest time. I was always healthy before my kids. Why does postpartum depression and anxiety happen? And we'll dive into this a little bit more. One of the thoughts or the reasons is this MTHFR gene that we're discovering and the enzymes that it creates and the detoxification pathway that happens. So we're going to dive into that more because that's something that I learned when I had Lyme and its co-infections. Additional reasons why we have postpartum anxiety: blood sugar imbalances, thyroid levels, insomnia, and adrenal fatigue. The MTHFR gene we spoke about, and it depletes your B vitamins. and also affects estrogen dominance, which will be another video coming up soon. So watch for that video. Lack of help or support, your thyroid is off, your iron levels are high or low. These are 8 reasons why we have postpartum anxiety. You're unable to regulate your nervous system, which we're going to talk about more. How do we regulate our nervous system? You live in a house with mold or did at one time and have mold toxicity. So a lot of health concerns come up postpartum because your body's trying to regulate your hormones, detoxify the excessive estrogens. You know, everything is readjusting and it takes a lot of work. And if our diet isn't ideal, if our supplements are incorrect, and we're suppressing things with medication, then we really struggle with anxiety and depression. And then last, unresolved trauma. So I had major trauma, big T trauma. My husband passed away in front of me, but I also had little t trauma. So we all have this trauma from our childhood, from our college years that we don't remember, we suppress, or we don't think it's a big deal. So big trauma and little trauma comes out during the postpartum time, because trust me, your children are triggering you every single day and triggering your partner as well. So trauma needs to be uncovered and released. And sometimes what happens when you're holding trauma inside is your body shakes uncontrollably. And we're going to talk about that more, but you want to trust the shaking and let it come out of your body. It's scary. It's really, really scary. So how long does postpartum anxiety last? Well, it depends if you consider yourself postpartum or not, right? So some moms think they're postpartum at 6 weeks. Some are still breastfeeding at 2 years. So I say any anxiety after childbirth, I would call it postpartum anxiety. Doctors will typically just say it's anxiety after you reach a certain point, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 6 months. Everybody has a different timeline about what postpartum is. When you work in the field, I would say anytime after a pregnancy is postpartum. So keep that in mind. Delayed postpartum anxiety. So this is what happened to me, is when you're breastfeeding, you have all the feel-good hormones, right? Everything, you might even sleep better. This is what I remember anyway, sleeping so soundly. It was only a few weeks, but I breastfed for a short amount of time. And then when I stopped, boom, that night I had insomnia. So it really can be dependent on how long you're breastfeeding or how long your hormones are starting to adjust. So keep that in mind. It could be 6 months out that you get postpartum anxiety. So what do we do? How do we heal postpartum anxiety? In the Present Mama course, I teach you about nutrition. So number 1 should be nutrition. How do you nourish your body and get proteins? Because the proteins provide B vitamins. And what I see often is that vegans do struggle the most. Just keep that in mind, because you really have to supplement and be very careful that you're getting enough protein during the day. Complete proteins, which only animal products provide certain enzymes and minerals that you do need. So a complete diet filled with a rainbow of colors, and that's really hard to do when you have a new baby at home and maybe you're going back to work. So however you can get support to get a really nourishing, warming diet, maybe soups and stews and things like that, and a salad every day, then nourishment is your ideal. When we talk about postpartum diet, we're going to go into how soaking your grains is extremely important. Soaking rice and seeds and nuts, because there's phytic acid in these food products that are drawing the vitamins out of our body. So that's why we need so many supplements, is one of the reasons. Not only are we stressed, drinking more coffee, not getting outside, but we're not soaking our grains, which is really, really important. So if you can do that, it will provide you with more vitamins and minerals. Additionally, people are putting vitamins and minerals, or minerals anyways, in their water. So you may want to do that as well. Electrolytes and minerals in your water can help nourish your body as well. Number 2, we talk about supplements in the postpartum course, in the Present Mama course. So supplements and choosing the right supplements. So if you do have this MTHFR gene that has creates health concerns in people, that might be in women, that might be anxiety and depression, and it may be one of the reasons you're struggling right now. So you want methylated B vitamins, and that may help reduce your anxiety. Just keep that in mind. Number 3, we talk about the herbal medicine, herbs to help soothe heart palpitations, insomnia, and exhaustion. So we talk about the adaptogen plus nervine combination to help soothe your anxiety. So often we make mistakes of just choosing one botanical. We'll just take ashwagandha, for example, and moms will say, that's not helping my anxiety. Well, it's an adaptogen, it's a relaxing adaptogen, but you need more nervines to help you sleep. You also need deeper nourishment and probably the correct supplements. So there's these 5 steps we go through in the Present Mama to choose the right botanicals for your body. Additionally, we restore your sleep, step number 4. Remember, sleep, anxiety, and depression go hand in hand. So it's really important that we address your sleep deprivation first, because when you sleep, everything becomes easier. Your food choices become easier, right? Because when you don't sleep, what happens? You want coffee and sugar all day long. At least I did. And then the 5th step, which is new due to my most recent experience, is nervous system regulation. And what does that mean? That means you're learning how to soothe your nervous system all day long. So we're not pushing through the day and just waiting till we lay down at night to wonder about why we have heart palpitations. We're checking in with ourselves throughout the day. We're performing vagus nerve exercises. So we're going to dive into this more, but I wanted you to know there is hope for recovering from postpartum anxiety without medication if that is your choice. And even if you're taking medication, it might not be working for you. If it's making you feel flat, that's one key indicator that the MTHFR gene, you may have one of the SNPs or the codes that's affecting you. So we'll be diving into this more in our upcoming videos. So hit the subscribe button and the like, and then download your free roadmap below to get started on healing anxiety naturally. If you have any questions at all, don't forget to note them in the comment area below. Thank you.